Welcome to the Bridge Healing Center. We're located at 400 North Center Street in Westminster, Maryland, 21157 in the Town Mall of Westminster. Today is December 12th, 2023, and it is also the new moon. And today's Tarot Share lesson is going to be about self-development and using the tarot to encourage that kind of self-development and to prevent spiritual bypassing. So let's talk about the origins of the tarot. As we have discussed before, it is from a 15th century card game, a lot like Dungeons and Dragons. Come on in. And it is a lot like Dungeons and Dragons or Magic, the card game, and our ancestors would play this card game when they had time on their hands. But it was more than just a card game. It was sort of a mythic storytelling game that provided hours of fun and imaginary journeys, but it also provided archetypical and mythical storylines so that people could learn about the human experience and connect with the gods. And around the turn of the 19th century, the 19th century, right around 1897, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn started officially joining up and participating in their development rites that are considered metaphysical as well as occult. And Arthur Edward Waite developed, with his cohorts, his colleagues, men and women, they developed this card game into an actual self-development tool. And that is what defines the tarot as we know it today. So it has had a bad rap in the past, as far as gypsy fortune telling and, telling your future, and people thinking that maybe you can get lottery numbers out of this. How that's possible, I have yet to discover. However, we want to make a distinction between fortune telling, which is a type of spiritual bypassing, and then divination, which is a type of self-development as self-divining, because you yourself carry the spark of God within you. So the idea here is that we are using the tarot for divination, for self-development purposes, so that we can bring out that divine light in us. So fortune telling relies on these ideas of destiny and fate. And destiny and fate are very emotional, irrational things. And while we want to acknowledge emotion and, things that we can't quite explain, we don't want to dwell there, because then that sort of shuts down our ability to reason, to be critical in our thinking, so that we can make the best decisions for ourselves without thinking that we have some predestined type of future or anything of that sort. The only destiny that you have, honestly, is to be the best, most self-development, most aware human being that you can be. That is your only destiny. And it is one that you get to write. So you're here on this earth, however you think you got here, so that you can be fully human and to proceed with all of the faculties and gifts that humanness brings. The divine spark within you, the capacity to reason, all of those things make you very human. So let's turn to the divination aspect of it. All right. So the divination aspect of it is learning about the cards and the human experiences and the archetypal experiences that they actually represent, such as the major arcana represents those things that are beyond our control. They represent archetypes that are across human cultures. They represent experiences that we have that are just archetypically typically human. Okay, so, our need to have something bigger than ourselves is part of our humanness. Our ability to love deeply and to, make connections is a very human thing. Our rage is a very human thing, and it's something that we all deal with. So, the idea is to never rely on a reading to be like, oh, this is absolutely the truth. The idea is to start associating with the cards, the pictures in the cards, and start to unearth your inner story about who you are and what you're meant to do here. So, as a human being, the tarot, just like psychology or any of the storytelling cards that are out there, because there are psychological storytelling cards that are available on the market, and they're trying to do the same exact thing that the tarot has done. But realize that with the Rider-Waite deck, all of these great minds of psychology, anthropology, sociology, all of the things that have to do with humans, all these great minds got together and really just curated the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. So, in my opinion, the Tarot deck that Rider-Waite put together is probably one of the top-notch psychological storytelling card games you can play. And you can play it by yourself, and you can play it with others. And one of the things that I do is I use Tarot in addition to neurolinguistic programming as well as cognitive behavioral therapy techniques to help my clients actually unearth the story of trauma that they have experienced and help them to resolve it in a way that supports them, nurtures them, allows them to come to terms with the trauma that they've experienced without necessarily having them relive it. And I generally like to do this with someone who has already been to therapy, is already on medication if they need it. This is more of an advanced, I finally got my feet planted firmly on the ground, and now I'm looking for deeper answers that I can't find with the medication or with the therapy. I am not a licensed therapist. I am simply a storyteller. I help you explore your stories and use the tarot as a self-development tool. So I'm not going to tell you lottery numbers. I'm not going to tell you when your soulmate is coming in. I'm not going to tell you that your child is going to be famous or whatever it is that you're looking for. In fact, I'm probably not going to tell you what you want to hear, because tarot is a self-development tool, and that means that it will make you look at the hard things, and you will not want to look. And what will happen is, and this happens in readings often, the person will tell me, I don't know what you're talking about. And I will say, okay, and we'll explore it. And then what will happen is, a couple weeks later, they'll come back and they'll be like, oh, I figured out what actually was going on there. Because when you actually lay out the cards, you're shuffling them, and then the tarot reader actually sets them out for you. It's your subconscious mind that is actually working behind the scenes to tell the story. So when you come to sit with me, you get to talk to your subconscious, right? And there are many other methods whereby you can do that. So don't feel that, tarot is the only way to do it. But it is a method that some people find very helpful, and it allows them to not only go see someone to sort of check their perspective, but it also allows them to use the cards on their own by themselves. And that's why I host the Tarot Shares, because I like to get people together from all levels of reading ability so that they can share with each other. And I also like to, give out information. I like being helpful. And it would be nice to have more people come out. I do have some people here, but the more people, the merrier. I can host up to 20 people. And also know that eventually I'm going to be able to offer things such as the Tarot Share for private parties and things of that sort. So if you want to have a girls' night with a little bit of wine and a lot of self-examination, sounds like fun, doesn't it? Hit me up, you know. I'm here at the Bridge Healing Center at 400 North Center Street, and the Tarot Shares are every second and fourth Tuesday, except for this month. I am taking a holiday on the fourth Tuesday, and then we'll start back up in January. So the tarot is not some kind of woo-woo thing that tells you lottery numbers or who your soulmate is. The tarot actually is a deck of cards that holds pretty much every experience a human being could have, and then allows you to arrange those cards to tell a story about what might be going on. And it really sparks your subconscious mind so that you come up with the resolution and the solutions that you need for self-development, for becoming the most human-y human you know how to be, and not doing the spiritual bypassing thing of going to someone who's just going to tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear. So, Tarot Shares, second and fourth Tuesday, except for this December. I am taking a holiday, and you can come to the Bridge Healing Center to sign up for a reading with me. There are currently $45 for a 2 operation. I also offer a larger reading for $125. You can also do your last minute Christmas shopping here at the Bridge because we have many beautiful and unique gifts. So if you have a real hard nut to crack, yeah, we probably have what you need. So come look at our sage, our crystals, and all the other lovely little spiritual things. But the idea behind the Tarot Shares and the Tarot, and we have many, many decks, is self-development. Okay, so have a wonderful holiday season. I'll see you all again in January. Come on in if you're in the Westminster, Maryland area. Come see us at the Bridge in the Town Mall of Westminster at 400 North Center Street, Westminster, Maryland, 21157. And thank you very much for attending. Namaste.